All right, believe it or not, this is the last lesson in this unit. I chop out a lot of this unit from the text we're using, and so we're going to end up with just 3 lessons. It's going to be a nice one for you, and that's going to be good because hold on to your hats because the next couple of units are really long. So the calm before the storm here, we are going to look at percent of change. So percent of change is what it sounds like it is. It's the percent that something has changed. And we use a little kind of formula to calculate percent of change. Percent of change equals the amount of the change. Now I'm gonna put amount of the change up here because I'm gonna put there's a little more to that. The amount of change, which is the final amount minus the initial amount. And this is always true, excuse me, whenever we're trying to find the amount of change or the change in something, we always take the final minus the initial, right? Later on in one of your math classes or your science classes, you'll learn that we use the Greek symbol delta for this, actually. The change in something. I'm just going to throw that one in for free. So we take the final amount minus the initial. Oh, I can't leave that one for free because I need the space. The initial amount. And we divide that by the initial amount. Okay. So to find the percent of change, we take the final amount, we subtract it minus the initial amount because that's the amount of the change. And then we divide that by the initial or the original amount, okay? Let's put some meat on that with a handful of word problems. All right, so we're going to find the percent of change from 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're going to state whether the percent change was an increase or a decrease. For the increase or decrease bit, we're going to give you a spoiler alert that if your percent change turns out positive, then it was an increase. And if it turns out negative, then it's a decrease. Now, on these types of problems, you can probably figure out whether it's going to be positive or negative just by looking at it. If we're changing from 60 to 84, it's going to be an increase. So the increase or decrease is pretty easy anyway. But if it's an increase, it's positive. It's a decrease, it's negative. And, well, we'll get there when we get there on the examples. I don't want to give you too much information, especially not with not writing things down. So we're going to take the final amount, 84. We're going to subtract the initial amount, 60. And then we're going to divide that by the initial amount, which is 60. So we end up with 24 over 60, which gives us 0.4. Now, this is not like, on the percent word problems, we did the over 100 thing. And so we ended up with a percent right away. Well, doing this way, it doesn't give us the percent right away. It gives us the decimal equivalent. And so we need to move that decimal over 2 times to convert that decimal into a percent, right? And so our final answer here is 40% increase. All right, let's do another one. And yes, they're all going to be pretty much that easy. Some of them have more words, like this one. Savannah had 318 comic books. Now she has 273 comic books. Find the percent of change. She's got quite the collection, doesn't she? Find the percent of change and round to the nearest tenth if necessary. And then state whether the percent change is an increase or a decrease. You can already tell that last bit, right? You know what it's going to be, but let's take a look at doing the math and see how it comes out negative. So we're going to do 273, because that's the final amount, minus 318, and put that over the initial amount, which was 318, right? So when we subtract that, we end up with the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. So negative 45 over 318. Then we're going to divide that. When we divide that, we end up with approximately negative, that little squiggly equals means approximately equal to, in case you didn't know that yet, approximately negative 0.141509. Okay, that's not a 9. Doesn't matter because we're not going to need it anyway. Now that's the decimal, so we're going to move that decimal over twice, once and twice. Okay, so it is approximately equal to a 14.2%. Now you notice I didn't put negative. I'm going to take care of that by saying it's a 14.2% decrease. That makes sense? I bet it does. Not so bad. I don't know why I'm sticking that in there. We got a couple more examples to do. All right. Don't even cry to me about it. It's a short lesson. Excuse me, short unit. You'll be fine. Even if this video is like in the more like 10-minute range, you're going to be okay. It'll be fine. Find the selling price if a store pays $42 for a pair of rollerblades and the markup is 25%. Oh no, this is different. But we got this. So this one is honestly more like a percent word problem, but we kind of squeeze these markup and discount problems in this same lesson and kind of roll it all together. So if the store pays $42, now markup, it's common. I often have the question when we get to this. So what is markup? Markup is what the retail store will add to whatever they pay for the good so that they make money. So markup is how they make money. All right, so we're going to mark this up by 25%. So when we got a percent of, when we got to have a percent, we're almost always going to find a percent of something. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a percent of 42. So of is times, right? So 25 over 100, or you could convert that to a decimal. That would also give you the same number. And we're going to multiply that times 42. Right? When we do that, we get, I think I already have that. Oh, it's on the page I was at. Let's see. We end up with, we end up with $10.50. Okay, so what we want is we want the selling price. So we want to then take and add that onto the 42. And so what you're going to be expecting to pay for these rollerblades is $52.50. Let's do one more. I kind of alluded to what it's going to be like earlier. It's going to be a discount problem. Okay. Summer sports is having a sale. Volleyball has an original price of $59. It is on sale for 65% off the original price. We're going to find the sale price of the volleyball. So again, we got to find a percent of something. So we're going to start by doing the same thing. We're going to do 65 over 100 times 59. And we end up with $38.35. $38.35. Now, if we want to find what the sale price is going to be, we have to subtract this $38.35 from the original. Right? So we're going to take and we're going to subtract that from not 69, 59. And when we subtract that, we end up with $20.65. That's it for that lesson, and surprisingly, the unit. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. You're amazing. If you're one of my students, I'll see you in class. Do your homework, all the things. If you're not one of my students, thanks for joining us. We're glad that you're here. You can check out emberlearninglabs.com for what else we're doing. If you're in the Lubbock area, you may even want to become one of my students. That would be really, really great. Thanks, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.